All right, in today's lesson, we're going to continue our study of algebra and exponents and polynomials and talk about something pretty important in mathematics, which is called factoring. So first question is, why do we even factor? What's the big deal? Well, in the prior videos, we talked about going from a problem and getting a solution. So the factors, when we factor it, allows us to find the solutions of a given polynomial. So there's a couple common ways. In this video, part one, I'm going to talk about the two easiest ways. Method one is what we're going to call the greatest common factor. So in a polynomial, what we want to do is take out the greatest common factor in every term of that particular polynomial. So in this case, the greatest common factor of the numbers is 2. So we would take a 2 out. Now, what remains of those numbers? Well, nothing remains here. Technically, it's 1, but for right now, we'll leave it blank. And then what remains here is going to be a positive 4. Okay, now we look at the x terms. What is the greatest common factor of the x terms? Well, we can take out an x, and when we take out an x here, we're left with 1x there. This x was taken out, and so there's nothing remaining in the parenthesis. So this would be factored. So then to review, what we would do is this would be equal to 0, and this would be equal to 0, and then now we have our two solutions for this polynomial. So this factoring using greatest common factor allows us to do that. The second common method is what I call the product and sum. So what we first want to do is find the product of what sometimes textbooks call C. This last number is C. So what are the products of that? So for example, we know that 1 and 42 are products of that. All right, well, what is the sum of those products? Well, the sum would be 43, and some variations which we're going to skip for this example, but you'll see in the next part. Well, we also know that 6 and 7 are products of 42, and if we add those up, we get 13. And what we want to do is we want a product of C, and then we want this term here to be our sum. So the products need to add to that value. So we see that we have a positive 13. Well, how can we make it negative? Well, in this case, if we did negative 6 and negative 7, that would now give us a sum of negative 13. So we know that we have two factors, y minus 6, y minus 7, and now we can go and solve that. So we would have y minus 6 equals to 0, y minus 7 equals to 0, and we would get our solutions of 6 and 7. All right, so for this particular case, what I'd recommend you do is to create a table in order to solve it. So again, let's try another example here. Okay, so if we have something like this, we have x squared plus 6x plus 8. All right, so let's first list the factors of 8. Well, the factors of 8 are going to be 1 and 8. And when we add those up, that would give us 9, which is not what we need. The other factors would be 2 and 4, which gives us a sum of 6. So in this case, these would be the numbers we need. So we have x plus 2, y plus 4. And then we would set that equal to 0, and now solve. And get our two solutions. Okay? Now, depending on how your problem is, this could be pretty quick or it might be more complicated, but this is one of the best ways to do that is to create a table off to the side and be able to do that, especially starting out. When you get more experience with this, you'll be able to do these more in your head, but starting out, definitely recommend that.
Happy Monday morning, everybody.